Greetings all you maniacs of minds and grinds. Welcome back to another Warframe weapon showcase. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new boy of the shotguns, the Cedo, or Cedo. This weapon is very unique. It is probably an example of how signature weapons should be. Not the fact that they're just, weapons with tiny little bonuses like the Astilla having more ammo in its pool with Gara, but instead actually giving some synergies between it and the Warframe that it's supposed to go with. And this one is no exception, and I will show that perhaps in a future video when I talk about Labos. So anyway, let's go over the Cedo. So this is the build I normally run. It is crit corrosive. Well, not really, because I don't have Blunderbuss on, because Blunderbuss only gives this thing 18% more critical chance, and that really isn't. I Vigilante Feather just for some more fire rate because this thing is kind of slow. Now, the status per projectile, that looks terrible. But here's the thing. This weapon has an alt fire, and it has built-in condition overload. Alright, my bad. I'm an idiot. I have Vicious Spread. So, Vicious Spread, by the way, will not affect this weapon very much because it's already a pretty damn accurate shotgun. Anyway, the alt fire. So, no critical chance, decent critical multiplier, but there's no crit, and 110% status. Just by default, it has 50% status. So, it is very easy to go 100%. Now, this weapon, the radial attack, will proc blast and also the base element, the combined element, and also whatever else you have on there. Also, it will proc toxin, cold, heat, which it already does, and I think even electricity. I haven't seen it really proc it too much, but it doesn't matter. So let's show what this thing can do. So first off, yeah, that's the accuracy with Vicious Spread on, and that's honestly fine. But if you take off Vicious Spread, you can see just how accurate the spread is. So this is a very accurate shotgun. It also has a pretty damn long range to it before its fall off starts to eat away at its base damage. So let's spawn in some Corrupted Heavy Gunners level 145, and let's show what this thing can do. By the way, this thing has an 8 punch through, by the way. Anyway, how does it perform without its condition overload? It's only okay. And by the way, I do have Arcane Rage on Ember. I probably should have taken that off, but it doesn't matter. Now, what does it do with condition overload? Yeah. This is how signature weapons should be. They should be incredibly unique. Does this mean that every single weapon in the game is going to get a condition overload-like effect? I don't think so, because let's be honest, I don't really think most weapons need it. There could be some people like, well, weapons could definitely use it because no gun can take down Steel Path. Have you ever heard of the Zeus Prime? Have you heard of the Comb? Have you heard of sniper rifles, Kuva Ogress? I could go on and on. Anyway, that's how the weapon performs with its condition overload effect, and also Arcane Rage. So, what about with Viral? So, it's going to be doing the same thing, except the proc of the condition overload of the alt fire, the glaive, is going to be proccing Viral instead of corrosive, but everything else will stay the same. At low levels, the alt fire is more than enough to kill crowds of enemies, but that's whatever. So, as I always say, Viral is more universal than corrosive, but corrosive more often than not will perform better against high-level Grineer. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Also with Lavos, it has a special effect. It has innate ammo mutation, which is very, very nice. Also, I'm gonna talk about Lavos really quick. So he gives more status duration in his stats, which works very well with the Cedo. And since the Cedo procs a whole lot of statuses, that makes his 4 able to nuke steel path enemies. You're starting to see why this weapon is so damn awesome, just in concept alone of what it does for its Warframe. Anyway, now what I'm going to do, wow, we're going to go into the steel path. And should I play Ember? I don't want her to steal the show because Ember's abilities are completely capable of killing steel path enemies. But at the same time, I guess you would be wanting to strip the enemy's armor, so I guess I'll do it. I'm going to be using the corrosive build, even though I'm going to be stripping the armor. Why? You're losing damage. It's not going to matter when their armor is stripped. Because they'll have like no damage resistance basically against anything, and they will just get absolutely melted. And plus, the Panzerwolf is going to be proccing viral. And plus, with this condition overload sort of thing, it's going to, be very, very nice. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go into Sedna Steel Path. So, is this my favorite shotgun? No. Is it stronger than the Kuvacomb? I think just I think they're fairly similar, but I think the Kuvacomb is just a lot simpler to use because you don't have to do the all-fire. By the way, the all-fire doesn't take any ammo, which I find insane. But, whatever. I just like the Kuvacomb a lot. Okay, I'm going to have to quickly get my damage reduction, or this is going to be a pain in the ass. So I probably should have done that before. And I know I'm burning the enemies like crazy right now, but whatever. Let's put on the condition overload, and yeah. No guns can work in the steel path, by the way. I hear that from some people, which I find kind of dumb. Oh, yeah, you're seeing what I mean when it comes to Ember and her abilities. She is one of the destroyers of the steel path. So no enemy armor, and the all-fire nearly kills them. So that just goes to show how much armor really means to the Grineer. If they don't have their armor, they are nothing. And unlike shields, they cannot get their armor back. So, in all honesty, I know it might sound weird to say, but seriously, Steel Path Corpus are more of a problem more often than not. I'm going to have to do that just for some crowd control. And yeah, again, if you've seen my video on Breach Surge Ember, yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing. And also, the radiation is proccing even more of this condition overload effect. So you see how weak this shotgun is without its condition overload. I'm not killing enough. I have to pick up the pace. I'm losing energy really damn fast because that's just Ember. So proc them all. Hit them with my 4. I should have picked Neja for this, to be honest, because that would have been a more like raw experience instead of me, using Ember's abilities like this. But hey, okay, I'm gonna use these guys to get me some energy. Wow, you don't have a max arc can energize? I don't care. I don't ever really need it. See, look at that. I'm almost already full energy. Now, because this weapon's a shotgun, it doesn't have a primed crit chance mod, which pisses me off till this day. Until we get primed blunderbuss, I'm still going to mention that every single time I review a shotgun, that I really wish we had primed blunderbuss. Yeah. And of course, stripping their armor because Ember is Ember. I'm not even really getting headshots, and I am ripping through these guys pretty quickly. Now, this weapon's actually better with Zaku because you can Zaku with some form of crowd control ability like ensnare or larva, because then you can drag enemies into the area where all their armor is immediately stripped. So that's the thing you can do, definitely, if you really love Zaku. I like Zaku. I think he's a cool frame. It's just Lavos, I'm really enjoying playing him. I don't know how much more I should go because this is pretty much it when it comes to this weapon. It is incredibly destructive. It is very fun and unique. But I don't know. I feel like the Kuva Comb is just stronger. I guess that's not really fair because the Kuva Comb is such a monster. But when we get Prime Blunderbuss, the Kuva Comb is going to be even more disgusting than it already is. So, and yeah, the glaive bounces around like crazy, hits a bunch of enemies. And it's not like, I love how you can shoot when the glaive is out. That saves this weapon from being extremely clunky.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Yeah, this is just fairly easy. Obviously, I would much rather be using my melee weapon right here, but this is a showcase of this weapon, not my Zaw. Anyway. Give me more energy, you fucks. There we go. This weapon isn't going to do very good against the Acolyte because the Acolyte's I'm pretty sure the Acolytes are pretty damn resistant to status. So I'm probably going to have to pull out my secondary to kill him. I still want some Steel Essence from this. Just because why not? There might be something cool that Teshin has after a while. But yeah, this is the Cedo. It's so fantastic. God, yeah, DE. Revamp your unique weapons. Make them have incredibly cool synergies with the Warframe. I mean, I don't know what they would do. They're pretty creative, but I'm just thinking in my head, what should the Astilla do for Gara? What should the Tenora do for Octavia? Like, Octavia needs something else that she can do. What can't Octavia do? Oh yeah, be enjoyable? I'm kidding, Octavia means. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just pull out my secondary and keep this fucker away from me. There we go. That's what my secondary is for. It is for deleting the Acolyte. I will activate this and then I will skedaddle. So this is the build I would recommend most often than not against Grineer. If you're going against Corpus, the viral build will technically work a lot better because there's only like 2 Corpus units that are weak to corrosive, or at least somewhat weak to corrosive. I don't remember what armor type the Oxium Ospreys and some of the Bursas have, but I think it's alloy armor, not ferrite. Anyway, it won't matter. This weapon will obliterate basically everything on the start chart super quickly. And it won't even be that hard. You will just use the glaive, and it will either kill the entire group of enemies or nearly kill them, and then you hit them with a shotgun, and everything dies. And when we get to Lavos, you'll see how incredible this weapon is with him, because it is his weapon, and it procs a lot of status. And if you know anything about Lavos, He likes his status. He likes his status effects, so that is going to be very potent. Anyway, you could be saying, why don't you just use Prime Charge Shell? I don't feel like putting another form into this weapon right now. And honestly, it's not going to add that much, to be honest. The primary fire isn't really going to be proccing a whole lot of status. It doesn't need to. The alt fire is status. I just put on the dual stats to save Forma, but you don't have to do that. Anyway, this is a very, very good shotgun. I would highly recommend this weapon. It's fun, it's unique, it's cool, and more signature weapons should be like this. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, in Trilby, we trust.